So let's get into this. Everybody, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications so you know when we're going live with somebody as incredible as Lolita, even though there are only two other people on the planet that are as
Aw.
incredible. I know. And you can make your guesses in the live chat right now. First question goes to you, Lolita.
Okay, I'm ready. I think
Can you just tell us what, and you may have had this question before, but what is the funniest thing that happened in your whatever it was, 10, 12, 14 years of working on Star Trek? 15.
15 at the studio. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
long time. I can't, there were so many great stories, but one of my very favorites has to do with Max Grudenchik, Aaron
Oh.
Eisenberg, Echevarria, no, Renee Aubergenois, close. We were filming an episode called Little Green Men on Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Story
And
by Jack
Yes.
Trevino.
there you go.
Yes.
And it was Friday night, so we had to work very late, and it was outdoors. And it was the scene where those three characters that I just mentioned, Ron, Odo, and Nog, were in a Jeep. And they were,
Yes.
so I was hanging out that night on a Friday night, and everybody was just loopy, loopy, tired, and so tired. And Aaron, in his, wonderful wisdom, started singing Three Ferengis in a Jeep. And that just kept going and going. And then the Max, and then even Renee, who,
Wow.
really let loose too often, was so tired. So they had this whole song that was just beautiful. And I wish somebody would have recorded it. But that was one. I mean, there were so many great memories, but that one was really a lot of fun
They actually got Renee
Oh,
to
to
join
sing.
in. That was not his style.
that's
It was
so
midnight.
great.
It was midnight on a Friday night. So yeah, I think Renee just gave in. How can here's Renee, 8 feet tall, and here's Max and Aaron like way down here. What
Yeah.
could he do?
Brilliant. And everybody in the live chat, if you do have a question for Lolita, she has bravely agreed to answer your questions. So if you have any questions about what it was like working behind the scenes, working on set, working in the studio for the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, go ahead and ask them, and we will relay them to her. Uh, Lolita, we've heard this once before, but it bears repeating. You met Gene Roddenberry.
I did. I worked for Gene Roddenberry. Yes.
What
Yes.
was what was he like?
um, First, just to give you a little background quickly, you've all heard it a million times. I was not a Star Trek fan when I took this job. I was not. I was a Lost in Space fan. I grew up in the 60s.
Aw,
It's a nice show.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I won't go into the whole story, but I took a job at Next Generation for a day. And the reason I took it was because I had taken acting classes from Patrick Stewart when I was in college. And I
That's
knew
so
Jonathan Frakes from another set of friends. And I thought, oh, that might be kind of fun. I might see them. Anyway, all that's a very long story. But I did know, and this was between the first season of Next Generation and the second, after that long writer's strike. So I did know who Gene Roddenberry was, of course. I knew what the original series was, and I knew these two guys were working on this show, Patrick and Jonathan. So I thought that might be kind of fun to see them. Little did I know that the very next morning I would be meeting face to face Gene Roddenberry, the first person I met when I got to the studio,
Wow.
and went into the
cool.
Hart building for my first morning of work. And he had the very first office in the Hart building, which is a 4-story building at Paramount, and one door in and one door out. And I walked in and I realized that Gene was standing there. I don't know if he was there just to greet me, but he was there. Anyway, he was a wonderful guy. Until he got sick, he was there every day and never, never, ever missed a morning of going into each one of our offices and saying good morning, good night.
Oh,
If it was your birthday, there would be a party in his office. So
Hmm.
no, just a true gentleman. And obviously we can't say anything more about this world he created, which is why we're still here 60 years later talking about it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
a wonderful man. Threw great parties at his house too.
Ah, fun.
Yeah.
Fun. I have a question. Kind of related to that. Since you started working on Star Trek, what are your thoughts about the evolution of this franchise since your first day?
Wow, that's a good question, and it's huge. Obviously, I do want to say I have not seen much of any of the new shows. I'm part of the legacy, as we call it, the legacy shows, and I'm proud of that. Um,
Yeah.
but here's the thing again, we're talking about 60 years later next year, right? I mean, what
Yeah.
show has that? I mean, Law and Order's working on it. They're at 27 or 28, but still, this is
You're
an
a Law and
amazing.
Order fan. That's your thing.
But the point is they are catching up. They'll never get here. They're not going to have conventions for Law and Order or cruises or anything else like that. But listen, I think I look at it sometimes and wonder, would Gene be happy with the way things have gone? I
Hmm.
don't know. Who am I to say? But I do think that most of the new stuff, most of it, the writers, the producers have really tried to follow in his, guides. I hope. I think there's been some misses probably, and people would probably agree with me. But listen, whatever keeps this thing going, how many spin-offs are
Right.
there now? I don't even know because I can't keep track of all these new shows.
I think
It's
12
amazing.
now,
I mean, that's insane to think
or
about.
12 altogether,
So
so 11 spin-offs.
Law and Order's up to six, but that's okay. We're gaining. But anyway, I think it's unbelievable. And being so involved in the conventions like I am, to
Yeah.
see generation after generation of people coming to these things. I've been doing this for 35 years. So when
Wow.
I see now grandparents and their kids and then their grandkids coming to
Yeah.
things, or the new young people now starting out, it's really a trip. And
Mm.
yeah, I think it's
Trip
great.
Tucker.
Trip
Trip.
Tucker. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. And I think, we won't be here in another 60 years, but it will.
Yeah.
Star
Ain't that
Trek
I
the
will.
will.
truth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
No, this is a goal.
Uh, David Bourgeois in the live chat says, I met Lolita when she was in Newfoundland for Sci-Fi on the Rock many years ago.
Yes, that was a
Wow, that's
great.
cool.
They do a great
Oh,
convention there, run by Darren Han. I've sent so many actors up there. They're just lovely people.
yeah.
Lovely, lovely. I think
Hmm.
Aaron went once.
Aaron did that once. He
Yeah,
loved it.
Wow.
really.
Yeah. Took some photography
Oh, yeah. Way up.
pictures of like this boat and some great pictures he took up there.
Hmm.
Well, hi to all those people in Newfoundland.
Mhm.
Yeah, all 30
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
So I still got to go there, man. It sounds amazing. Uh, so we have some questions in the live chat. Matt, unless you had a question, we're gonna.
I had one and then it went away.
Okay, well, you got plenty of time. Lucia Raz out in Brazil. I don't envy you on this one, Lolita. I think I know what your answer is going to be. But she asks, what's your favorite to work in, TNG, Voyager, or Deep Space Nine?
Space Nine.
Oh, that was easy.
Nice.
Why is that?
Me tell you, it's nothing against those other two shows. The whole thing has been incredible. Again, my half of my life now has been involved in Star Trek, and it was something I never, ever, ever anticipated happening. Um, but Deep Space Nine, for so many reasons, is just been closest to my heart from day one. There was part of it was from a writing point of view, and even from a spectator's point of view. All the shows have seven or eight main characters, right? But Deep Space Nine had so much more than that. We had all those
Right.
recurring characters that weren't just a recurring character; they were almost main characters. They all had a
Right.
history. They all had a life. Nog, Rom, Lita, Damar, all of it goes on and on. And I don't know, it just over the years, I just became so close to so many of those Deep Space Nine actors as personally good friends. Not that I'm not friends with other actors on other shows by any means. I represent actors from all of those shows. But yeah, Deep Space Nine, I think, and mostly due to Ira Stephen Bear and the way he ran it.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Mm.
Ira on Next Gen, but the way he ran Deep Space Nine was just a whole different ball game.
so you kind of leaned into the
Mm.
next question, which is from Chuck A. Chuck A, he's always at STLV selling plates. Really
Ah,
cool plates and collectibles. He says, I see you working at STLV. How is it like interacting with all the stars there? So, Lolita, you now have a second career beyond Star Trek, right back into Star Trek, where you represent, you're an appearance manager for all these amazing and all of our favorite Star Trek actors. So he sees you there and he sees you saying, "Oh, you're late for your photo ops. Oh, hurry up and do this and do that." So she wants to know what's it like,
it's
or he
crazy.
does.
Um, it's yes, it's Star Trek Las Vegas is a whole beast into itself, though. So that's 5 days, really more like six when you come right down to it, of
Mhm.
just insane running around. I'm very fortunate to have a great group of people that work with me. I don't want to say for me because I can't pay them. God bless you, Diane, Sherry, Joe, all of you. You know who you are. It makes me cry. And to have
Gizmo.
somebody now like Ryan being
Yeah.
so on top of everything has been wonderful. But it's so different than any other event. I just did an event in London, which I call a good old fashioned Star Trek convention. There was six actors, there was myself, there was an author, there was 400 people. Everyone was there for the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony.
Oh,
It was just like an old fashioned convention. You can't have that at Vegas. That's not what that's about.
No.
As far as
right.
there's thousands of people, at least Vegas does come close to having that family feeling, which is crazy with that many people, but it's a lot of work. Second to that is the cruise, the Star Trek cruise. If any of you have been on that, you know it's a blast. It's an enormous amount of work, though, but it's also a lot of fun. I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. So,
hmm So Chris Marshall asks, did Gene, I think Roddenberry, ever talk to you about what inspired him to create Star Trek? It's known he spent time in the Navy. Do you know if he ever experienced any UFOs?
oh, wow. Well,
Ooh.
no, I wouldn't know that, but Gene did love to tell stories. If he got people in his office, he would talk about being a police officer, and he loved his history of his own personal history, and he loved to talk about that. UFOs, I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody that probably spent more time with him than I did, but that's interesting.
hmm
Yeah.
Wow. People are asking so many questions we could barely keep up. John
Yeah.
Davis asks, Lolita, would you ever go back to work on any of the new shows?
No, I'm too
That
old.
was a quick answer
That
too.
it's
It really was.
was my favorite show. No, it's crazy. I think back now, in my day, we were working on two shows almost the whole time, many of them.
Holy mackerel.
It was TNG, and then it was TNG and Deep Space Nine,
Right.
Space Nine and Voyager, and that was insane. And you're working 16 hours a day, you can't even think straight. And again, I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I was in my 30s and I'm in my 60s now, so that is a big no.
Well,
Well, but you know,
the
they
60s are known
they
for their big starts because that's when Star Trek started in the 60s. Sorry, Matt.
Well,
there you go.
I'm just perfectly content managing actors and going to conventions.
Well, I was gonna say you're only doing 10 episodes a season now, so
Well,
that's like a walk in the park.
that's true, and that's what I really don't like about new television myself. I mean, I
Yeah.
really think it sucks, to be honest. And even the stuff
Yeah.
I watch, it's like, come on, now we have to wait another 2 years to see another maybe
Right.
episodes of something. So yes, you're right. And listen,
Agreed.
my colleagues, my actor friends, and my behind the scenes people that we all grew up together in these legacy shows, we talk about that all the time. It's like, you guys are wimps. We did 26 episodes a year and you're doing what, 10? Big
Right.
difference.
hmm
So yeah,
26 episodes
Hmm.
uphill both ways is what I heard
yeah.
through the
Right.
snow. So Joel and asks, and I think this is has to do with Law and Order. He says, What would a Trek court show's dun dun noise be?
Ooh.
Oh, wow,
I
that's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe it would be that little ding ding that they have in some of their
Oh,
court
the,
hearings
Oh,
in
the little bell.
England.
The
maybe.
Yeah.
It's a
Ding.
It's so
communicator chirp.
I don't
Yeah.
have it here, but one of my friends, Angie, gave me my very own gavel, and it does the dun, it does the Law and Order thing. It's so great.
Ah,
Oh,
And every
that's
time we walk
fun.
by, we go and we hit it, and we get a little,
You
yeah.
I
should do
hear they
that at
make like a hundred
Oh.
conventions.
thousand dollars every time that sound's played.
I'm sure they do.
Wow. You should take that to some of the
Wow.
conventions just to kind of, get order.
I'm gonna take it. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lolita, real quick, that's some good ones. Real quick, who was at that convention in Scotland?
It was in
Mm.
London.
Oh,
We
London,
went.
sorry.
So I'll tell you why we went to Scotland because you'll know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about. But
pals.
this convention was Terry Farrell, Nicole DeBoer, um, Jess Bush, um, Mia, somebody, wonderful gal. She played, I don't know, you'll have Mia something, um, and
Hmm.
Ed Spillers. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if I'm pronouncing that. He's such a lovely guy. And Peyton List and
Great
myself.
list. So it was
Yep.
probably Mia Kirshner.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
She was a lovely,
Okay.
lovely person. I had never met her. I'd met Peyton before and I'd met Jess before and Ed, of course, but Mia was lovely. And there was an author there named Jim Swallow who I actually got him his first break in Star Trek writing for Voyager many years ago. We've been friends for,
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So he was the other
Cool.
guest and we had a great time. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But then Terry Farrell and I went to Scotland to visit our dear friends Joe and Allie Cornbrough, who moved from LA in May. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That sounds really
Oh.
cool. Yeah, they just moved recently and they're such good people. And Joe edited on the Voyager documentary
Hmm.
and previous documentaries as well.
And
Um,
still is.
yeah,
Natalie
So
worked on our
yeah,
Michael Westmore documentary right now. Yeah.
I
that's gonna
have
be
a
awesome.
very important question. Is Joe hanging out in kilts?
Not yet.
It's not a skirt, that's a kilt.
Oh, but you
Get
know
him
what?
drunk first.
Well, I've been to Scotland times and I used to do conventions in Scotland, which were a trip because they would have all these men lined up and doing the Scottish dance in their kilts and stuff. Terry had never been to Scotland, so we actually did get to see a couple of men walking down the street in their kilts. But
Right. Matt, do you want to tell them the story of you doing cartwheels in a kilt, or is that
Well, I would, but as part of my parole, I
Oh,
was
right,
told
right,
I'm not
right. Your
allowed to.
your ankle what are those things? Monitor. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
Walter Ian K. This is a toughie. Lolita, can you talk about the Vision Quest in Journey's End? Is that a real native thing or just made up for the episode?
okay, first of all,
Yeah, you're already
a long
lost.
time ago, Journey's End was that. Please help me out here.
That's the
Next,
one where Wesley
what?
leaves and goes with
Oh,
the traveler, isn't it?
you guys, I can't even go there. That's a long time ago. I don't even know who wrote that episode. And when was that?
I
Third
don't know
season?
either. Matt'll have it in 4 seconds. It's like the
That's seventh
sixth,
season.
Seventh
seventh.
Yeah,
season.
20th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where it involved the Native Americans who left Earth and settled on a colony. Picard is there, and they're talking about it's like they're having a conflict over whether they should live there or not. And it's the one where
Oh, was it?
what
The
it's where
Weren't they
Maquis.
in?
Wesley leaves to go,
Yeah. Weren't they in the
caravan around
demilitarized
the
zone?
yeah, they're in the DMZ. Yep. And they go out and then Wesley it ends up with Wesley leaving to go be a traveler.
Who wrote it?
Yeah, just curious.
It is written by Ronald D. Moore.
How did I
Or
guess? How did I guess?
Oh,
Let me say that first of all of the writers that were on staff at Star Trek were fabulous, as we know. And you look at Ron Moore and Brandon Braga, these guys have gone on to do amazing things. So all I can say is that if that name is attached to a script, you know that major research was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are made up, obviously. But all I can say is, we all know Ron's reputation. So I think that whatever he came up with was true to his heart as it could be.
Somebody is just now catching on to Ronald D. Moore's reputation, and that is somebody you represent. His name is Cirroc Lofton. And since we are reviewing
Mm.
Star Trek episodes, we've done all of Deep Space Nine, and we're currently in the sixth season of Next Generation. Cirroc has gone on record more than once saying Ronald D. Moore is the greatest Star Trek writer.
He is,
He's the
which I've always just
best.
found it such a shame. And there's no rhyme or reason to why this hasn't happened, but I just find it a shame that Ron has not been involved in any of the new Star
Oh
Trek.
man. Yeah.
Mm.
I think it would just
Yeah.
be amazing, but his choice, however it works out, for whatever reason, it's not happening. But yes, he's one of the best writers to ever work on Star Trek. Right.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You know, there was a brief period where I wasn't able to watch Voyager, and then I came back and started watching it again, and I got to Barge of the Dead, right? And not knowing who had written it, seeing it in the credits or anything like that, I was like, man, this has a Ron D. Moore feel to it. And
Hmm.
sure enough, it was Ron D.
I
Moore.
think that was probably one of the only episodes that he actually wrote on Voyager, because his time on Voyager was very short lived. And I don't think he was actually credited with much more than that one episode, if
Mhm.
I can remember. He was only there for a few months.
Also, everybody in the live chat, and hello to Marina Kravchuk. That's Draco Rex out in the live chat, and Unturned, and everybody else joining in as well. Um, Darn, now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Ronald D. Moore. Please tell the live chat about somebody whose name is extremely similar to Ronald D. Moore.
Ronald B. Moore.
Oh.
That used to get a little confusing working on the shows, but
Yeah.
well, one was in visual effects and one was in the writing department. Both very, very, very talented men
Ronald
and
B. Moore
wonderful.
did a lot in VFX, right?
Yes,
Yes.
many Emmy awards later. Absolutely.
Mm.
All right, Lolita, since we only have you for a few minutes, we got to ask you what's on the horizon? What's coming up soon? Would you happen to have a convention next month?
I wonder what it is. It would be Chicago with Creation Entertainment, and the very lovely Ryan Husk will be there, of course, and I imagine Melissa will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the last one of the season for Creation, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have Nana Visitor there and Cirroc Lofton, but there's a huge lineup of wonderful guests.
Hmm.
We're having a cocktail party on Saturday night, Ryan. Talk a little
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
going to be a lot of fun. Actually,
Mhm.
let's pull that up real quick. Check this out. We have Coffee and Croissant with Gates McFadden. That's really funny because of the episode attached. Authentic Chicago Pizza Lunch with a dipshit from Chicago. It's okay.
So freaking awesome.
He
Well
calls himself
played.
that, Lolita. That's he sits, we're
That's
allowed to say that because he says it. The Tim Russ crew rocking your socks off. An authentic Ethiopian dinner with
I
Cirroc
wish I could
Lofton.
go to that.
Yeah.
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 Look at this one. Deep Space Nine happy hour cocktails with Nana, Cirroc, Lolita. Check it out. It
Yay.
says, have some cocktails and hang out with Nana, Cirroc, and Lolita in your own section of the bar. Listen to their behind the scenes stories of working 7 years on DS9, and the first drink is on us. We'll email you just prior to the event with more details Saturday at 7 p.m. That's going to be
Yay.
really cool.
Ah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
lots
to
of guests.
yeah. That's a
Lots of
good
guests, lots of fun. You, Sirach, Nana, like 20 other Star Trek people are going to be there. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
too. It's a great way to start the holiday season. really, end the convention season and start the holiday season, because Thanksgiving's just a few days later.
Right. So this is
Yeah.
November 21st through 23rd in Chicago, technically Rosemont, the Westin O'Hare, like a stone's throw, literally from Chicago O'Hare Airport. It's right outside the airport. It's not that loud. It's okay. And it's November 21st through 23rd, just the weekend before Thanksgiving. You're right. It's a great way to,
It
kick
really
off a
is.
little early.
Yeah. Come home and start cooking.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
well, speaking of kicking off, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
But Lolita, this has been so much fun. We appreciate you taking the
Any,
time.
I love doing it, so you know that.
We love having you, honestly. It's always great.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, you guys, and thank you for getting my camera working. That would have been
You most technically you did
makeup
it,
on
but
is a big deal, but yes. So anyway, thank you all very much.
Yay.
Love to
Yay.
every trekker out there, and happy holidays if I don't see you all before.
see her in Chicago, everybody. Bye,
Yeah.
Lolita. Talk to you
Bye
soon.
bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Yay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much for watching that clip. We go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with all the latest Star Trek news on the virtual TrekCon channel.